Today, we're breaking the first rule. Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is Fight Club. So this isn't a first time reaction, don't expect me to go crazy over the twist, I already know. But there's a lot of things I want to talk about here with this film. And the next two films, there's kind of like this through line that I find really interesting that I want to talk about. That's American Animals and The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. So they're what will be the two films after this next week. So yeah, I just want to get into the movie. So before I do, be sure to check out the Patreon. Over there you'll find 1 week early access, so you can get American Animals right now. You can get full-length timer-based reactions, so you can just sync up your own footage, and if there's anything I cut out, you'll be able to see there. If there's some scenes, like some of your favourite scenes, and they don't make it into the YouTube cut, you can see them there. And then there's polls, so you can vote for what's next. So yeah, let's just jump into it. So I actually know David Fincher wanted to put a flash of Tyler Durden in the openings, but he couldn't get permission to do that. You know how he shows up, his whole thing, where he just shows up for us for one frame. Oh yeah, this CGI opening is really cool. The way it kind of zooms out of the body, starting from the brain. This is what, late 90s? I feel like the CGI does hold up really well.
People are always asking me if I know Tyler Durden.
Would you like to say a few words to mark the occasion?
With a gun barrel between your teeth, you speak only in vowels.
It's a great way to open the film. There's a lot of, sets up a lot of mystery, doesn't it?
In 2 minutes, primary charges will blow base charges and a few square blocks will be reduced.
Yeah, the CGI is still pretty good.
I know this because Tyler knows this.
That's like one of the first hints.
It's got something to do with a girl named Marla Singer. This was a support group for men with testicular cancer.
We're still men.
Yes, we're men. Men is what we are.
Yeah, so like masculinity is one of the main themes here, and it's funny how so many people completely like miss some of the message and start to idolize Tyler Durden when the whole point is like it's kind of like two extremes. Tyler Durden is like the embodiment of like toxic masculinity.
For 6 months, I couldn't sleep. Insomnia, nothing's real. Everything's far away. Everything's a copy of a copy.
And then we saw that. Yeah, I had problems once where it was like 2 weeks where I really struggled to sleep. I really relate. You just like, you're not awake, you're not asleep.
Like so many others, I had become a slave to the IKEA nesting instinct. The Klipsk personal office unit.
So the guy who wrote the original comic says that, you know, a lot of the movie is a critique on capitalism as well. And I think what's really interesting is looking at it as how capitalism and like our modern day, how it affects masculinity and what it means to be a man, because a lot of the movie is kind of like pushing back against that, trying to be like more traditionally masculine, I guess, but to the point where it becomes dangerous and toxic.
You can't die from insomnia. You need healthy, natural sleep.
Yeah, that's a problem when you go to the doctor and they're just like, oh, you're just down, just pull yourself back up. And it's just not helpful at all.
You want to see pain? See the guys with testicular cancer.
It's such a bad doctor. Like, it's not like the oppression Olympics. You don't have to, it's like, oh, you think you've got it bad, go see these guys. It's just awful doctoring.
She had her first child last week. A girl with her new husband.
Yeah, that must be tough.
Everyone, let's thank Thomas for...
See, I feel like at the start of the movie, they portray like being emotional and being open like that. It's kind of weak. And then it goes to the opposite end where it's like super masculine, Tyler Durden. And you see that's also a problem. And then it kind of comes back into a middle ground almost.
My name is Bob.
Bob,
Father being a champion bodybuilder.
You know, using steroids.
And that made him sterile or something? Oh no, because it's testicular cancer, so maybe all that led to it.
Race horses, for Christ's sakes.
Strangers with this kind of honesty make me go a big rubbery one.
Yeah, there is kind of like a, you know, it's okay to be open, but being so open with a stranger you've just met is kind of weird. Just releasing that baggage onto them. But this is kind of the situation where that's kind of acceptable, isn't it? Because they're like in a therapy group together.
Losing all hope.
Losing all hope was freedom.
Babies don't sleep this well. If I didn't say anything, people always assume the worst.
Yeah, he is just taking advantage of all of these people. I guess it's not super malicious because he being there does kind of help the people that he's talking to, and it helps himself, but maybe it does take up a slot where someone who does actually suffer could have taken.
And she ruined.
Marla.
This is cancer, right?
This chick, Marla Singer, did not have testicular cancer.
It was testicular cancer she went to.
Her lie reflected my lie.
Yeah, that's why he hates it so much. Any criticism he has of her, it reflects on himself.
Next group, after guided meditation.
That was quite an obvious flash there. I don't know, maybe I just caught that.
I hadn't slept in 4 days. When you have insomnia, you're never really asleep and you're never really awake.
Yeah.
If I did have a tumor,
I'd name it Marla.
hey,
That guy behind you was walking up to try and talk to Marla. I just noticed that. He turned away when the narrator was there. I don't know whether to just call him the narrator or call him Jack. Sometimes people call him Jack as well.
Melanoma, so I get tuberculosis.
I saw you practicing this. Tell me, is it going as well as you hoped?
When people think you're dying, man, they really, really listen to you
Instead of just waiting for their turn to speak.
See, she understands as well.
Testicular cancer should be no contest, I think.
Well, technically, I have more of a right to be there than you.
Yeah, she has less testicles than her.
Hey, you left out your clothes.
They're not her clothes. He's stealing them.
Okay.
How nonchalant she is with all the traffic and stuff.
Pacific, Mountain, Central. Lose an hour, gain an hour.
Yeah, that can't help with his insomnia at all.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time. If you wake up at a different time, in a different place, could you wake up as a different person? Single serving cream, single pat of butter.
Single-use life.
Flight. They're single serving friends.
Yeah.
The teenager's braces are wrapped around the backseat ashtray.
The father must have been huge. You see where the fat's burned to the seat, the polyester shirt?
Look how gruesome this bit is.
If X is less than the cost of a recall, we don't do one.
Yeah, so they place a monetary value on human life.
Oxygen gets you high. In a catastrophic emergency, you're taking giant panic breath. You accept your fate.
I wonder how true that is with the oxygen thing.
What do you do for a living? So you can pretend like you're interested.
Yeah, I think that's why people like Tyler. He just cuts through all of the bullshit, doesn't he? He represents this kind of societal issue of men feeling disenfranchised because of capitalism. And I mean, that's why so many people latch onto him, even though, you know, he is such a toxic character and all the things he does are so... He does do a lot of awful shit.
Tyler, you are by far the most interesting single-serving friend I've ever met.
I had everything in that suitcase. My CK shirts, my DKNY shoes, my AX ties.
Yeah, he's so tied up with consumerism.
A house full of condiments and no food.
He considers calling Marla at first.
Who's this?
Tyler?
He answers Tyler, you know. There are clues throughout the whole movie, isn't there?
A wardrobe that was getting very respectable. I was close to being complete.
But you're never complete under consumerism, are you? There'd always be one thing where he was close to completeness. There'd always be another thing.
We are byproducts of a lifestyle obsession. Murder, crime, poverty, these things don't concern me. So fuck off with your sofa units and string green stripe patterns.
Yeah, see, I feel like a lot of people connected with what Tyler says. That's why so many people, you know, adore him.
The things you own end up owning you.
That's a cool quote.
A hotel.
Yeah.
Just ask, man.
He always just cuts through the bullshit, doesn't he?
I mean, because you need a place to stay. So just ask. Cut the foreplay and just ask, man.
I noticed the first question that Jack asked Tyler is, what do you do? And I feel like that's another thing where a lot of men, we feel like we're defined by what we do and by our work, when that isn't what should define you. But the first thing people ask you when they meet you is, what do you do? And that becomes like your defining thing almost.
If you look for it, you can see these little dots come into the upper right-hand corner of the screen.
That's really cool and meta.
We call them cigarette burns. Ever been in a fight? You?
No, but that's a good thing.
No, it is not. How much can you know about yourself? You've never been in a fight. Motherfucker! Hit me in the ear!
Well, Jesus, I'm sorry.
This must have looked so strange to the outsiders once you actually know. But we do see later how good he is at acting, like he's fighting himself. When he fights his boss and he's like throwing himself against walls and stuff. Edward Norton does a great job of that kind of physical acting, doing that.
We should do this again sometime.
See, they just see that as him being weird, fighting himself. They probably think he's on drugs and he's just going crazy.
By the end of the first month, I didn't miss TV.
There's this kind of glamorization of the poverty there. But it is true, like, you have less things to worry about. But it does mean the things when you are like super, super poor, the things that you do worry about are a lot more important. Your bandwidth isn't taken up by worrying about superficial things, you know, and it makes you more grateful for good things as well.
I am Jack's colon.
Yeah, I get cancer. I kill Jack.
After fighting, everything else in your life got the volume turned down.
My dad never went to college, so it's real important that I go.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I called him up long distance. I said, Dad, now what?
Just falling into the system.
I'm a 30-year-old boy.
We're a generation of men raised by women.
It used to be that when I came home angry or depressed, I just cleaned my condo.
It's just like he needs an outlet, but his outlet comes in fighting, when he could have found that outlet through, you know, he could have started boxing or like something official, doing judo or something. But I guess part of that is there's a whole structure around it. You still have rules and things. He just wants the freedom.
Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club.
Iconic at this point, isn't it?
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
You weren't alive anywhere like you were there. Who you were in Fight Club is not who you were in the rest of the world.
Yeah. It's like you put on a performance for the rest of the world.
Trying to look like how Calvin Klein or Tommy Hilfiger said they should. That what a man looks like?
Self-improvement is masturbation.
That was a great moment there about body positivity. But what does a man really look like? You know, there is no one look. But then the movie does kind of counteract like by having Brad Pitt here with his like perfect six-pack right after, you know?
Sometimes Tyler spoke for me.
I haven't seen you at any support group. I cheated.
For men only.
Like the testicle thing?
Oh, and this, she's got the wire wrapped around her neck. That was all a memory, wasn't it? Not a dream.
Did I call you?
Oh yeah, because she's seeing it as Jack, the narrator. not as Tyler.
Girl who lives with her used to be a charming, lovely girl. She's lost faith in herself. She's infectious human waste.
My God. I haven't been fucked like that since grade school.
There was a line that originally wasn't as bad, and then they wanted to change it, and then they changed it to something even worse. I can't remember what the original line was.
Yes, these are bruises from fighting. Yes, I'm comfortable with that. Give up all your flaming worldly possessions. Go live in a dilapidated house.
When you become so indifferent like that, you start to become not a menace. You become a nuisance to people around you, you know?
Yes, sir. Strange, very strange.
The dynamite
Dynamite?
left a residue. It means it was homemade.
I loved every stick of furniture in that place. That was not just a bunch of stuff that got destroyed. It was me.
I'd like to thank
Yeah, he was so tied to his possessions. Well, not anymore, you know, but before he was.
The salt balance has to be just right, so the best fat for making soap comes from humans. A liposuction clinic.
Oh. Disgusting. Oh.
What is this?
This is a chemical burn.
I bet there are people out there who actually did this because of the
Guided
movie.
meditation worked for
The pain, don't shut this out. No! Without pain, without sacrifice, we would have nothing. This is the greatest moment of your life, man, and you're off somewhere miserable. I have to consider the possibility that God does not like you. He hates you. Or you can use vinegar to neutralize the burn.
Please let me have this, please.
First, you have to give up. Know that someday you're gonna die.
It was beautiful. We were selling rich women their own fat asses back to them.
Yeah.
Bob! We all thought you were dead.
No.
No, I got something so much better now.
Really? What is it?
First rule is, I'm not supposed to talk about it. Second rule is, I'm not supposed to talk about it.
Does he realize?
I'm a member.
So he doesn't know that he's the founder.
Right? Have you heard about the guy that invented this thing? And he sleeps only 1 hour a night.
The hour a night thing might be true.
You know about Tyler Durden?
You realize he wasn't talking about him. Bob used to be a bodybuilder, didn't he? It probably makes him feel a lot more like a man again.
This was mine and Tyler's gift. Our gift to the world.
Which means a lot of you have been breaking the first 2 rules of Fight Club.
Yeah, it's like they don't want the word to get out too much because it can put it in danger. But then Tyler kind of uses that later when he starts Project Mayhem.
Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need. We're the middle children of history, man. Our great war is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives. And we're very, very pissed off.
Yeah, I feel like this movie just encaptures a lot of problems, societal problems that people relate to.
That's right, Lou, get it out. Shut up.
And then Lou's feeling all of exhilaration and everything that goes along with joining Fight Club. That's like what it makes you lead to believe, but he doesn't actually join, does he? He just becomes scared.
You don't know where I've been, Lou. Fucking use the basement.
Not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, most people want to avoid confrontation. I like how it's the priest who does it.
Are you threatening me?
No.
Get the fuck out of here. You're
I
fired.
have a better solution. You keep me on the payroll as an outside consultant.
He's got all the leverage.
Security?
I am Jack's smartest advantage.
Oh, what the hell are you doing?
And the security's hearing it all through the phone. Yeah, the acting's so great. The way he's so convincing. Like the physical acting.
For some reason, I thought of my first fight with Tyler.
It makes it so obvious in retrospect. It must have been so good experiencing the twist in person, like in a cinema when the movie first came out.
Now had corporate sponsorship. On a long enough timeline, the survival rate for everyone drops to 0.
There's so many iconic quotes that you can do from this.
Raymond K. Hessel, 1320 Southeast Banning, Apartment A. You're going to die. What did you want to be, Raymond K. Hessel? If you're not on your way to becoming a veterinarian in 6 weeks, you will be dead. Breakfast will taste better than any meal you and I have ever tasted.
The ability to let that
I feel like
matter truly slide.
You know, after watching this movie, you're supposed to feel like how Raymond's supposed to feel. You feel like seen if you feel like you're kind of bogged down by everyday life. I feel like most people, they watch it and then that feeling just fades away, doesn't it?
You're not how much money you have in the bank.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
You're not the contents of your wallet. You're the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
Yeah, what truly defines what you are?
Chloe's dead. Do you care?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it in a while.
He's more just interested to find out.
It was the smart move on her part.
Oh, did she commit suicide? It sounds like that was what she was inferring, saying it was her choice.
You're too old, fat man. Your tits are too big. Go on in, we'll celebrate. What do we celebrate? Go on.
He's got the green paint all over him.
This is one of many recent acts of vandalism around the city, somehow related to underground boxing clubs.
It was just
Holy shit.
Oh, they were wigs on. 'Cause they all shaved their head, didn't they? Or was it just the one guy? No, because Jared Leto, he still had his blonde hair.
Fine. Call it a rigorous investigation. You're going to publicly state that there is no underground group. Look, the people you are after are the people you depend on. We cook your meals. We haul your trash. We connect your calls.
It's a great signifier of how strong collective action can be. You know, if everyone who is truly felt down in the world wanted to strike and protest, we could and make proper change. It's just people aren't motivated to do it.
I am Jackson Flame's sense of rejection.
Oh yeah, this one is just brutal. I don't get why he goes so hard against Jared. I don't know the character's actual name, he's called Jared Leto. Does he have something against him, or is it just like he just lets it all loose?
I felt like destroying something beautiful. Include me in beginning.
Fight Club was the beginning. Now it's moved out of the basement. It's called Project Mayhem.
I feel like this car crash scene, was this the first movie to do that, where someone lets go of the wheel when it drifts off? Because I feel like I've seen it a lot in other places, like in The Nice Guys, they do that. That's more like when they're high, it's not like they're having an argument. But I feel like they do it quite a bit.
Done before you die.
Paint a self-portrait.
Build a house.
Oh no, I wouldn't feel anything good about my life. Is that what you want to hear me say?
Why do you think I blew up your condo? Hitting bottom isn't a weekend retreat. It's not a goddamn seminar. Stop trying to control everything and just let go.
Yeah, there's some things you can't control in your life.
Let go!
This is all metaphorical, you know. There's certain things you can't control, you shouldn't worry about. But then there's other things you should, like keeping a car from crashing, you know.
Tyler was gone. Was I asleep? So many people moving, the house moved.
They're like a well-oiled machine now.
It's under control, sir.
Look how mangled his face is.
We were on assignment. We were supposed to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Until... Please! Please!
What?
They shot Bob. They shot him in the head.
No.
Oh, God. Okay, quick. We gotta get rid of the evidence. We gotta get rid of this body.
Fucking piece of evidence. This is a person. He's a friend of mine, and you're not gonna bury him in the fucking garden. He was Bob.
But sir, in Project Mayhem, we have no names.
This is a man, and he has a name, and it's Robert Paulson. Okay?
In death, a member of Project Mayhem has a name. His name is Robert Paulson.
Come on, guys.
I feel like these guys, they kind of symbolize the audience who like misinterpret things.
I didn't know how or why, but I could look at 50 different bars and somehow I just knew.
I'm looking for Tyler Durden. It's very important that I talk to him.
I wish I could help you. Sir.
It all makes a lot of sense once you know, but this is so confusing at first.
Kind of stories.
Like nobody knows what he looks like. He has facial reconstructive surgery every 3 years.
The rumors are so funny.
Is it true about Fight Club in Miami? Is Mr. Durden building an army?
I was living in a state of perpetual deja vu. Everywhere I went, I felt I'd already been there.
It's like his insomnia is back.
Following an invisible man.
How can you follow yourself?
His name is Robert Paulson.
And that's just passed on everywhere.
Welcome back, sir.
Who do you think I am?
You're Mr. Durden. You're the one who gave me this.
Please return your seat backs to their full, upright, and locked position.
Marla, it's me. Have we ever done it?
Done what?
Have we ever had sex?
What kind of stupid question is that? Well, is that a pretty accurate description of our relationship, Tyler?
We have just lost cabin pressure.
That's so great that we've lost cabin pressure a bit.
Tyler Durden. Tyler Durden, you fucking freak. What's going on?
You broke your promise.
Jesus, Tyler.
You fucking talked to her about me.
Tyler, what the fuck is going on here?
I ask you for one thing. One simple thing.
The glasses.
Shit.
Tyler is everything he wishes he could be.
Answer me, why do people think that I'm you?
I think you know. Why would anyone possibly confuse you with me?
Do not fuck with us!
Say it. Say it.
We're the same person.
That's right.
We are the all sing me, all dance crap. Tyler, I don't understand this.
All the ways you wish you could be, that's me.
I think something really terrible is about to happen at your building. You have got...
It's under control, sir.
Everyone's in on it.
Don't worry about us, sir. We're solid.
Sir, anything you order is free of charge, sir.
I'll have the clam chowder, the fried chicken with a baked potato with everything, and a chocolate chiffon pie.
Clean food, please.
In that case, sir, may I advise against the lady eating the clam chowder?
No clam chowder.
They mentioned that earlier, didn't they? Oh no, it's cream and mushroom soup.
I know that I've been acting very, very strange. Okay. I know that it's gotta seem like there's two sides to me when you're with me.
Two sides. You're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Jackass.
I deserve it. I've come to realize something very, very important.
Shut
You're
up!
not safe.
Shut up! Listen, I tried, Tyler. You're smart, you're funny, you're spectacular in bed. But you're intolerable.
Hello. I need you to arrest me. I am the leader of a terrorist organization responsible for numerous acts of vandalism and assault all over the city. In the basement, you're gonna find some bathtubs that have been used very recently to make large quantities of nitroglycerin.
Why these buildings? Why credit card companies?
If you erase the debt record, then we all go back to zero.
It's kind of a noble plan as well. Get rid of everyone's debt.
What?
You're a brave man to order this.
You're a genius, sir.
You said we gotta get his balls.
It's useless to fight. It's really a powerful gesture, Mr. Durden.
First person comes out this fucking door gets a lead salad.
One of the buildings that's blowing up, isn't it? Franklin Street.
Greatest thing you've ever done, man.
No, I can't let this happen. God damn it, since when is Project Mayhem about murder?
The buildings are empty. Security, maintenance, all our people. We're not killing anyone, man. We're setting them free.
He's dead. They shot him in the head.
You want to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs.
No.
Bob is the only real victim so far, I guess. Has anyone else died because of it? Because there could have been firefighters who put out the fires they made and things like that.
Or maybe I knew you'd know, so I spent the whole day thinking about the wrong.
Yeah.
You think? Oh, heavens, no, not the green one. I asked you not to do that.
Tyler, I'm not kidding! Get away from the man!
I love when you see the views from the security cameras.
Firing a gun at your imaginary friend near 400 gallons of nitroglycerin! Go.
The beginning. Ground zero.
I think this is about where we came in.
Out these windows, we will view the collapse of financial history. One step closer to economic equilibrium. Have I ever let us down? How far have you come because of me?
I could have zoomed in your hand.
It's in my hand. So cool. When he figures it out and starts to manipulate things, it's so cool. And this is what we see at the start.
Our head.
It's you and me.
The angle would be no good. Just take out his nose.
My eyes are open.
And he actually does it. This is some commitment, isn't it? Even though it just goes kind of through his jaw, but it's kind of the act of doing it that kills Tyler, isn't it?
What's that smell?
And then he's got a scar where it is. That's cool.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I'm okay.
Sir, what happened?
Oh, nothing. It's no problem.
You fucker! What kind of sick fucking game are you playing at? Putting me on a fucking oh my god,
One tough motherfucker.
Yes, but it's okay. Marla, look at me. I'm really okay.
No, the music. It's become so iconic now, the Pixies. And it's like even used in other shows that have other things that have similar twists. And the hand holding.
You met me at a very strange time in my life.
Oh, I just got chills. The music adds so much to it, doesn't it? Your head will collapse if there's nothing in it, and you'll ask yourself, where is my mind? Okay, so I'm re-recording the discussion section because I was watching over it and I feel like I just wasn't quite happy with it. I was just kind of repeating a lot of points that I made during the video. So I'm going to keep this quite short, really. So of course, you know, the movie is iconic at this point. All of the acting is great. Edward Norton does a great job. So does Brad Pitt. All of the directing is great. And then obviously there's the iconic twist with the music from the Pixies, which has almost become synonymous with the film now. And, you know, even other media have done things with similar twists and used the music again. From like a filmmaking perspective, it's great. So a lot of men really like this movie because they feel seen by it, you know? It's nice to have your problems to feel like other people understand you. And a lot of men, they feel disenfranchised by modern day kind of consumerism and life under capitalism, just working a 9-to-5 job, you know, doing something you don't really care about and just feeling disenfranchised, really. And that's why so many people kind of latch on to Tyler Durden, because he represents what some people kind of want to be. They want to feel like they're free almost. And he represents that. But a lot of people, they latch on to kind of the wrong things about him. He's kind of very nonchalant and he's a bit of an asshole. And they see that and they try and like act like him, which that isn't really the point. The point is kind of more about what he's saying than in the way he says it. So like a lot of the things he says are very relatable. He has this line where he says like self-improvement is masturbation, and I feel like I kind of went through like this phase where I was very obsessed with watching like self-improvement videos, how to dress better, how to take care of my skin better. And you know, there are things that I learned and they made myself better, but at a certain point it's almost toxic how much you want to like improve yourself, and you're kind of never content with who you are really. And you know, Tyler, he's kind of very nonchalant, I guess. He like acts like he doesn't care about things, but he does really. And I feel like, you know, it's cool to not give a shit about certain things, but there's other things that you do have to care about, you know? So it's all cool. It's cool to be nonchalant, just as long as you care about things that are actually important. If you don't care that a certain person doesn't like you for whatever reason, that's fine. But if you don't care that, you know, about someone you love or things like that, it makes you like a worse person. So I feel like a lot of guys, they have a good reason to like Tyler and like what he says, but they kind of take the wrong message sometimes from him. He's kind of like this relief, you know, for men who feel like they're just kind of a cog in a system. You know, he has this speech about how his dad wanted him to go to college, and he was just like, oh dad, what's next, and he wasn't really truly living for himself. So there's, you know, there's definitely good positive messages in here, but you know, you have to look at the film critically and take away the right things from it. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, be sure to leave a like or a comment, and if you really loved it, make sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date for all the future uploads. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.